What is going on, y'all? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody's doing well. And welcome back, guys, to week number 17 of the Weekly Headliner here. Now, if you are new to the Weekly Headliner, this is where we talk about what is upcoming this week in Marvel Strike Force, and then we recap some of those important topics from the previous week as well. Now, we are expecting a patch soon, so we're going to be going through a lot of stuff today. Of course, the blitzes, we got a legendary event rolling back around, and then some things from the blog post that we're definitely going to want to talk about, for this week here. And I'm doing this with another special guest on the channel. Brother, it's been a while, man. It's been a while since we caught up. But what's going on with you, brother? Tony, how you doing?
It's me. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
How's everything going with you, brother?
Dude, it's going well, man. Going well. A bunch of stuff's happening in the game, and I'm here playing it. So, I'm like every other person playing this game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, a lot of good, some mostly bad things sometimes, it seems like. But there are some good things that we can find every now and again, I think.
I mean, we play the game. I always say, we play the game because we enjoy the game.
Right.
The bad things about the game suck, but
that's also true.
We're all in the same ocean. We just have different boats,
Very true, very true. But there are some exciting things that we're going to talk about this week. I think that we can. There's some things that are questionable. We're probably going to not talk about those as much. We're just going to focus on more some of that new content coming through, and then of course some things that I think are worthy of being on the topic. So let's dive into it. I don't even know what I just said. Let's just freaking dive into it. All right. So first thing that we're going to talk about this week are the blitzes, and the first blitz of this week, which is going to be, when you're watching this video, it's going to be tonight. Things blitz, the thing. And of course, there's a running joke on, how big is your thing? Well, a lot of people ask during the game, but I mean, the thing in general, not really. It's, I don't want to explain. But thing is going to be the blitz for tonight. Obviously, I don't think, anybody's really going to be too interested in the character specifically, right? Because he's available in the blitz store, pretty easy to get. So not really much. I don't think. The only thing is there's actually an event going on right now, the support event. So there may be some higher numbers, and we'll talk about potentially what those will look like a little bit later on, but not really much concern, I think, on thing. The next blitz for this week is going to be Blob, which I definitely still think that, if you're looking to save some arena credits, because those are a little bit more scarce, Blob is probably a little bit more of an important character, especially for earlier players who are looking to unlock Magneto. Unfortunately, the blitz is going to be after, the Magneto event's done. But, I mean, here we have it, Blob.
Yeah. I mean, the thing blitz is, I always say, more shards is more shards. Someone needs them,
Right.
My second account, the thing blitz is cool, right? I get in a free number of things, but the Blob blitz, that's going to matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That one is the one that I'm going to really try a little bit for, because I don't have Magneto yet, so I want to have Magneto, and he's going to help me, and he's also a big strong boy.
Yeah,
big strong boy.
Big strong boy. My spirit animal is what I call it. I think Blob is the only spirit animal I have in the game. But no, I mean Blob I said he's a pretty good character on the BH 2.0 team. I think BH 2.0 still a very valuable team. In the game, in war, I still use them to do a lot of counterattacks. So. Or I use them to counter a lot of teams. So I definitely do still think that Blob overall is a valuable character. Now, if we're talking about numbers in terms of kind of where, predictions will land here, these are the numbers from last week. So we had Mantis, who numbers were fairly low, right? Because not an impactful character in the game. So I think we're probably going to be more looking towards not necessarily exact numbers of Hela, maybe a little bit. Well, maybe. What do you think? Probably in the 38 million range as a cutoff from 1 to 100. And do you think these numbers are kind of looking right for where Blob may end up in terms of for rankings here?
A little bit lower.
A little bit lower.
The major difference between Blob and Hela is that Hela's good.
Fair.
Right? Hela's a standalone phenomenal character. Blob is good on his team, but they have the same basic value. They have a good team. They unlock a character, blah, 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 blah. But Hela is Dark Dimension and Blob is just a big, strong boy.
Yeah.
So I don't, especially because we haven't had a new character blitz in so long.
Yeah.
And unless there's an event that ties Like, we have that support event, whatever, that doesn't really count.
No.
You know, unless there's some kind of event where like blitzing becomes relevant, I think Blob is somewhere like maybe a little bit higher than the Mantis blitz because nobody cared for Mantis.
Right.
But somewhere in that range, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, and speaking of Blob, of course, you know, being a blitz this week, we also we alluded to it, right? You know, talking about the legendary event for this week. Well, actually, that's not going to pop up for me here, but Magneto, that is going to be rolling around this week here. And like I said, BH 2.0 for me, very much still an important team, you know, that you're seeing a lot of players still use. Myself, I'm using them. They're only about 325K in war, you know, but I find that they're still doing Fury Shield teams are still there, right? So I'm still beating those teams. There's Guardians on defense, right? There's still teams that they can beat. And I've seen Shadowlands on defense now, and the BH 2.0, they counter Shadowlands. Also, if you have Shadowland on defense, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Please take them off. But, you know, yeah, I still think, what do you think about BH 2.0? I mean, for free-to-play players, I think it's definitely valuable, but, you know, maybe late game players don't care too much about Magneto anymore.
They beat Young Avengers. They beat Wave 1 Avengers. And yes, they do beat Young Avengers. You just ability block instead of blind on turn 1. Mm-hmm. Like, they do everything. Not disrupt. I'm sorry, not ability block.
Yep.
Like, they beat the standard teams. Yeah, sure, they can't beat the meta breaking teams, but they can still beat the mercenaries. You know, they have the tools. They have the talent. You know, They can get it done. So one thing I will say, though, is I don't think you ever feel as strong in the game as the day you unlock Magneto. Yep. I think he's one of those legendaries that just makes you go like, oh, wow. Look, Star-Lord's cool. Shuri's cool. IW's cool. Magneto's like, this changes things. You know, you can get a lot of value out of him. So I think, like, congratulations to everybody who's getting their first Magneto on this pass. Yep. You're going to start feeling some fun with the character that just kind of never gets bad. He's so good that he's on one of the hardest nodes in U7.5. You know, like the Ronin node is hard because they drop a Magneto randomly, and he's like, and you're blind, and now you're dead. So
right.
He's that good a character.
Yeah, 100%. I think for free-to-play players, you know, you're not going to be able to get to Black Bolt as early, right? You're not going to be able to get to Ebony Maw, but Magneto can be a little bit of a game changer for you. You know, I still think early game viable for Arena, or early enough, you know, viable for Arena. If you're struggling with some of your Greek raids, you know, he is a global character. He also has... There's also, I think, in Gamma Raids, there's a specific requirement for Brotherhood. You know, you can use some other teams too, but I mean, you still have a lot of value there. I think that he's one of those characters that has not been power crept because what he does is so unique and so valuable. So I think definitely in any sort of which way, Magneto definitely still has some viability. BH 2.0 definitely still has some viability as well. But the next thing I wanted to talk about here is Strike Pass. So Strike Pass is going to be ending this week. Well, at least the Silver Surfer Strike Pass is going to be ending this week. What did you think about just the Strike Pass in general? I'm assuming that you're probably already at 56 or already close to it so far already, right?
50.
Okay, so
yeah,
2 days or so left in the
I guess I'm 52 now. I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna have to spend some cores.
Yeah.
To finish it. And honestly, this is the truth. If Surfer wasn't in it, wouldn't have touched it.
Yeah.
And if the Polaris Battle Pass next week or the next Battle Pass is the same thing, but with Polaris, I have no intention of buying it. The resources aren't good. My Dolphin account, I bought Strike Pass 1. It was great.
Yeah.
Strike Pass 2 looks fine. Strike Pass 3 is useless to me. Which might be useful to somebody else, but to me, there's nothing in here except the Surfer shards that were any consequence, and even then, I could care less.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I was going to ask you too. I mean, we both have, you know, second, you know, alt accounts here, and my Strike Pass 2, I find it to be a lot more valuable than my Strike Pass 3, you know, because there were Red Stars there. There were some other things that, you know, were helpful. This Strike Pass without Surfer to me really fell below the mark, and Polaris is rolling back around. I'm not in good confidence. I'm not saying I'm about to buy the Polaris Strike Pass. Well, I mean, I don't care that much, right? She's not as impactful of a character. I feel like I already have her at 4 and 4. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I feel like whatever she does, she can do it at that level. And this is what I was saying before when I did a couple of videos. I said, yeah, without Silver Surfer, the Strike Pass is not that good. And players are just like, well, But Silver Surfer is in the Strike Pass. Well, if you're going to put another character in there, then does it really have that much value?
Strike Pass 1 gives you 100 Surfer shards, and then it gave you Black Widow and Hawkeye shards.
Ooh, yeah.
Like 80, I think, of each, maybe 60 or 80 of each. It was really like a lot. And it gave you Legacy Orbs, stuff that a new player needs. Yeah. Strike Pass 2 gives Red Star Orbs, stuff that starts building your roster wider as you progress. Strike Pass 3 even shows you, it shows you an orange elite symbol and then silver and gold promotion credits, and you get a grand total of nothing from them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that if you look at everything on the top of the pass and you could say well, that's not worth $20. No, it's $20 worth of value.
Yeah.
You definitely will get $20 worth of value, but it's not front loaded. You're not getting that $20 worth of value the day you buy it. You're getting it later, or you're waiting for the end of the month to buy the Strike Pass. So
yeah,
to me,
and don't miss a day.
The RTA pass is bad.
Yeah,
but at least it has some things that I can imagine using.
Yeah.
This one is just worse than the RTA pass, and if it wasn't for Surfer, I never would have bought it. And now, unless they make some major changes, not just hey, we replace something with gold orbs, or major changes to this pass, or if they double the amount of Polaris shards, because I'd do it for 200.
Yeah.
200 Polaris shards. Yeah, I'm in. Sure, $20, fine.
What do you think that they should add to the Strike Pass to make it a little bit more valuable, in your opinion?
So again, this is just coming from me, but there's really only 3 resources I need in Endgame. I need silver promotion credits, gold promotion credits, and gold itself.
Okay.
Now that they're adding more stuff for training, it's becoming a little bit easier. The last thing I need is Armory 14 and 15 orbs. So those should be in the pass.
Right.
Because guess what? Not just me, but everybody who's able to get Strike Pass 3, but not as high as me, also need the same gear, This 70, I'm looking at one, it's set on the top part anyway, specifically.
Yeah, 75.
You can combine all of those into one at some point and give them to me in bulk, and I'll be like, thanks. Yeah. They really did just go out of their way to be what's the 8,000? Those aren't even elite orbs. Those are just regular, right?
These might be orange elite orbs.
Those are elite. But the elite orbs aren't even funny. I don't know, man. It's the best. This Strike Pass, someone said it in my stream the other day, this Strike Pass was the best thing in the game last year. Last April, this would have been the greatest thing they've ever added to the game. Yeah. They are a year late and $1 short on what this Strike Pass is for the people who are actually at Endgame, because there's just nothing here of value. But then again, if it helps people catch up for $20, so be it. Not everything has to be for me, but I'm just telling you why I have no interest in this kind of stuff.
And I think for me, I'm on Strike Pass 2 right now for the Assemble beginner account. And right now, the things that I needed on that were ability mats, right? I needed ability mats because those are a struggle, to get on that account. So that would have been, useful and helpful. Training mats would have also been somewhat helpful too, right? But I think you get some on the early portion of it, and I'm scrolling all the way back to see if I even got it on here. No, I didn't. Training mats would have been helpful. And I know you might say, well, it's in the RTA pass. Keep in mind that there are players who haven't hit level 64 that are doing the Strike Pass too, right? So you're not getting the training mats, from the battle pass. So those things would have been helpful. I don't know. I just felt like they wanted to push out Silver Surfer, so they decided, okay, well, we are going to make him available in the Strike Pass. Since you don't want to do Blitz releases anymore, here's the Strike Pass and figure out your life.
No, they're still doing Blitz releases.
Are they? Okay. Well, that's well. I appreciate the break from Blitz releases. I will say that, but this was not.
They just didn't want to do any Blitz releases when they knew they could push the new hotness. Same thing with RTA. You know, they weren't going to necessarily affect Gear Tier 14 gear when they knew they could sell it in RTA.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they're not going to release Polaris or Silver Surfer through a Blitz or anything else when they could be like. And now, again, Surfer, 100% reason I have a 5-star Surfer because I bought this pass.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously the other Surfer offers.
Yep.
But as far as Polaris,
yeah. Yeah, so unless they, basically what we're saying is unless they change the rewards that you're getting, you know, I can't find the words like significantly, then I don't think that the value is going to be there as it was, you know, for a Silver Surfer. It's pretty much basically what we're saying. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. We'll you know, hopefully they do make some changes. We'll see in a couple days from now. You know, I don't know if they're going to start the Polaris Pass. I think they said they're going to start it right after this one is done. So we'll have some more information there. But wrapping up for this week, we'll talk about Chaos Theory. That's an event that's going to be rolling back around. You know, we're ignoring the support incoming event, but Chaos Theory is rolling back around this Friday. So, you know, you remember you need Wakandan characters to be able to do that. If you're new to the event, just keep in mind that you're only going to be able to do the first 3 of each event because you only get 3 tokens each time. But overall, 5 Wakandan characters in order for you to be able to get this done. Shuri is available now permanently. So if you haven't done it already, you probably want to, you know, try to see if you can get Sinister 6 team ready to unlock Shuri. But overall, good to get some promotion credits here. But, you know, like I said, get yourself prepared for that. Double drop event is also going to be rolling around for that too. At some point in time this week, remember for your double drop event, don't farm when you first start. You log in for the day. Don't farm your Wakandan characters. Then farm them at the offer reset time, so that way, and then you farm it then, and then whenever your next day reset hits, you'll be able to farm them again. I probably didn't explain that very well, but you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying. For the most
Always
part.
Farm characters after reset, not after you know your game slips over. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Like you can spend your energy on stuff, but like when you know you need that, you wait.
Yeah, pretty much. But rest of what we're going to talk about now is kind of just like stuff that we from the blog post. We're going to talk about some of the patch stuff that we're expecting either this week or sometime next week here. So we'll dive into that now. All right, so the next thing on the patch, or one of the things that we're expecting here, is Colleen Wing. So we got a blog post, you know, for her kit, and the kit looks good. You know, it looks like we're going to be introducing here a new team, Heroes for Hire. I'm not going to go through the entire kit. You know, there's a lot of bleeds, there's some counterattacks, but primarily looks like a war defense character. And if y'all know me, y'all know how I feel about war defense characters. That's pretty much basically how I feel about war defense characters, you know. But what were your thoughts? I mean, just going over the kit, I know you probably went through it already, but what were your thoughts on Colleen and, you know, potentially some of the other characters that are going to be coming up as well?
So if you scroll up just a sec,
yeah,
you'll see things no one could have possibly known, like the Heroes for Hire tag or the skill tag or any of the. Right? Who could have guessed? So yeah, the Heroes for Hire Defenders rework, and for the record, the expectation of the rest of the Defenders rework is kind of like the Shadowlands to become the defense team. All part of something that they've been doing a lot lately, which is taking teams that have fallen a little bit out of meta, or giving teams that establish at one point other options, like the Wave 1 Avengers can be split off, and etc. So great thing. I saw her kit. Her kit looks like one of those quintessential kit characters. She looks like Polaris. She looks like Elektra. You know, she looks like the character where you don't really care too much about the stars and the red stars you have on them. You care more about just getting the abilities where they need to be, and then making sure they survive. So you know, she's gonna be, as long as she's on the team, she's gonna be doing her job.
Yep.
That's the idea. And the stronger she is, the better she's going to be at her job. But this is setting me up to believe that Misty Knight, who is mentioned in obviously her kit, is probably going to be the White Tiger. You know how Moon Knight wasn't the best character on the Shadowlands rework. White Tiger technically was.
Okay.
Moon Knight was a kit, right? Moon Knight's kit did great stuff. He can remove buffs and everything. But ultimately, whether he lived or died after he did his ultimate, you were still going to win the fight.
Yeah.
I could say that because that's how mine works. But, I think that's the same with Colleen. I think Colleen's there to be a part of everything.
Right.
You're going to get her value from her counters. But I think Misty is probably the one, and again, we don't have that much information on her yet. But I think Misty's the one you're going to want to look at for doing damage. She's also probably the most likely to have some kind of standalone value.
Yeah.
Compared to, because we've already seen her, and we already know Iron Fist, JJ, and Luke Cage's kits. Even if they change them a little, shouldn't be too much. But yeah, she looks fine. Wouldn't buy her. If having a really good war defense is important to you, go for it. But like, how's she going to be released? We haven't, like I said, we haven't seen a Blitz character. We know there's a new campaign character, but it's probably their specialty character.
Yeah.
Was it Kestrel? I think his name.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Kestrel was like the OG.
It's probably that character.
Yeah. Kestrel was
so that's probably going to be the campaign, because you can't introduce a new character and not give backstory. No one will care. So that's probably the campaign. So like, we don't know how these two characters are coming out. None of them seem like they're amazing for like milestones or anything, but
yeah,
I think she looks fine,
Yeah, well, what I liked about her kit, I mean, I thought the bleeds are always nice. They mentioned that she's going to have high health and damage and focus and all that, which the focus is obviously important to be able to land the bleeds. Curious as to what the other reworks are going to be on the other characters, man. Like Luke Cage, is he going to get any sort of speed up? Because the man is slow.
No, he'll get on war defense, spawn with taunt or something.
Yeah, that it has to be in order for him to be, valuable on that team. I actually tend to like JJ's kit a lot. She's obviously been a little power crap, but I still think that she's valuable. She just doesn't have a place in the game. So with Heroes for Hire, I think she'll get a little bit better. But definitely for me, I wanted to see Misty Knight, which obviously we'll probably find out in the next couple of days or in another week or so, when Misty Knight, will be rolling around. But yeah, I mean, the kit, you're right. She's a kit-based character. It doesn't look like she's going to be primarily, I heard Mobile always say this, and it's true, right? Every character needs stars and red stars, but is she going to be red star dependent is kind of what the situation is. And I don't think, based on the kit so far, that is going to be the case, for Colleen Wing. So we'll definitely see. The next thing that they talked about here on this list were costumes, and this was the one that I kind of perked up a little bit on costumes, which is weird, right? Because costumes literally have nothing to do with gameplay. It's just all about nostalgia and how you feel. But I got really excited when we saw them talk about costumes, and we'll dive into kind of some of the specifics that they mentioned here. But also just looking at some of these costumes. This is the Elektra costume, which is very nice. Very nice. And then we also got the Captain Marvel costume, which, in my opinion, I was less excited for this one. Let's just continue to look at this costume right here.
Yeah, all right, there it is.
That was really the exciting one for me, man. So this is like the Shadowland costume, right? I'm assuming that's what this is?
Yeah. That's Shadowland / MCU Netflix Daredevil costume. Yeah,
so this one looked pretty good. I mean, I'm excited about this one. 100% for sure. And we were talking about this, before we started recording this video. Like, are you gonna, would you spend money on costumes and things like that? And what is that? That doesn't add any sort of stats to a character. Is it really worth it? But you kind of gave a very interesting point, which kind of made me thought about it a little bit differently.
I don't remember what that point was. Why are you asking me? Yeah, probably. I say stuff all the time. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I guess realistically, as if it doesn't change the way the game is played, and it just makes me enjoy looking at the character more. Like sure. Like that's, to me, that's more of a reward, because there is what's the strongest you can make a character? It's like 7/7 max ISOs, gear highest gear to your highest level, which I think comes to like 160k or something like that.
165, yeah.
Yeah, and that's assuming it's striker and not scrim. Like whatever, who cares?
Right.
The point is, like, the strongest you can make a character is as strong as they can go, but they don't ever need to be that strong.
Right.
There's no character in the game that needs to be 160k in order to do what they're doing. Like most characters do adequately when they're like 5-star red star, 5/5 or something, and then some like 4 ISOs. Like they don't need to be that high. That's just a cool thing. So if you have a costume that just makes the character look cooler, like that, like I'm gonna buy that all the time. Like that, if I like the character and I want to enjoy it, and it doesn't make me better at the game, that's like the best way to spend money, because you can see, like, I can actually tell you for a fact, I know more terrible League of Legends players that have like 50 costumes on every character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, then I know good League of Legends characters that have more than like one costume. Like usually, like in League of Legends, the good players are like, I'll buy this costume on this character because I'm really good at him. And then the worse a player you are, you're like, I have 15 costumes on every character, because costumes are just cool. They let you connect in a way that doesn't necessarily affect gameplay. And that's on its own. But then again, that causes the price too. I don't care about the price. If they made costumes $50, I wouldn't buy them. If they made them $5, I'd buy every one. You know, like it. To me, it's like that. We looked at it before. The Elektra costume, yeah, that looks awesome. I don't care about Elektra at all, but that costume looks awesome. So I'd be like, yeah, maybe if there was like a price. The Captain Marvel color reskin, like, no, I don't want that. If you put that in my roster for free, I probably still wouldn't use it. Oof. You know, like yeah, like I'm like, I don't care. But if you were to go back to OG, again, this is nostalgia speaking. If you were to go back to OG, like Lightning Bolt, Ms. Marvel, you know, with the sash and everything, then I'd be like, oh, that costume's great. You know, so like it lets you have a little bit of customization for how you feel in the, like how your character or your commander feels in the game. And to me, that's important too. That's something that like, it shouldn't have taken this long.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know this, especially for some. Well, I guess in their minds, you know, it's not something that they feel like they can market per se. So maybe that's the reason why they didn't really, which doesn't fully make sense. Which then leads us to how you can get these costumes, right? So they say you can purchase costumes using either bits or costume credits. Bits are short-term currency you can earn via limited time opportunities such as events, orbs, and offers. Bits will be automatically converted to costume credits for the future use when an event opportunity ends. And starting on May 3rd, 5 p.m., you can also purchase costume credits at any time via the costume credits orb used in Power Core. So I didn't really see anything that stood out to me here that I thought was egregious. I mean, I obviously expected there's going to be some sort of new currency, right? That's going to be tied to costumes. So I didn't expect that. I guess ultimately you're going to have to see what's the quantity of credits that you're going to be able to get in bits in order for you to kind of make that evaluation. But this seemed fine, you know, to me.
Here, let's put it into perspective, right? I can't guarantee this is how it's going to look, but let me paint a picture so people can hear and be like, all right, I get it. So an event's going to happen. We'll pick a random number. Say you need 100 bits, right? In order to unlock that costume. We'll use the Elektra costume. The event's happening. If you don't have 100 bits, you don't get the Elektra costume. But if you get over 100 bits, you can get the Elektra costume and extra. Those bits will then convert into costume credits. And in the future, whenever the next event, we'll say Captain Marvel comes up, you can use costume credits in like a negative, right? Like maybe 2 for 1 or 5 for 1 to go towards bits so that you can potentially get more costumes. That said, they love their orbs. So instead, they might have bits that allow you to open orbs that give you shards of a costume. We don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. I would like to be like, yes, please. Here's $5, X dollars.
Right.
Thank you for the costume. And I'm afraid that that's not what's going to happen. I'm afraid it's going to be like, hey, buy these RNG orbs and see how many costume parts you can get. And that's not what I want, but you know, scopely, so whatever. Yeah,
that was a little bit of my fear too, but I'm hoping that they don't do that. But I mean, hope is a crazy thing. So yeah, it's not something that maybe I have a lot of times in this game.
Don't give me hope.
Yeah, just don't give me hope. But we'll see. And so what do you think too? I'm looking forward to like other costumes. Are there other characters that you would like to see costumes for that obviously we haven't seen a preview for, but just thinking, hey, I would like some different costumes for these characters?
I'm about to hit you with the most controversial statement of the year.
Oh boy.
I would buy White Suit Kingpin.
White Suit Kingpin? Why?
Because it's the Kingpin. Like, the Kingpin to me is always wearing that like bright white suit. I would buy that suit on a character I never use. So, you know,
and that's the crazy part about it too. I was thinking about, I'm like, okay, I would like a new Spider-Man outfit. I would also like, potentially a new Iron Man looking suit.
Oh.
But there are these characters that aren't really that good anymore in the game now.
I would give them literally an infinite amount of money for Scarlet Spider-Man. I'm just going full disclosure, but I'm not going to give them any ideas. Whatever it takes to get Scarlet Spider-Man, I would out of my way.
Out of your way.
Whatever it takes.
So
Sure.
then I'll ask you guys the questions. Would you be interested in seeing costumes for, coming into the game? What are your thoughts on the currency that they've mentioned so far? Obviously, we don't have all the info, right? So speculation, of course, but let me know what your thoughts are, where that is concerned. Moving forward, though, we did find out some more information. So we saw the interview this week, Jason Bender, and also with Valley and Remen. This was mentioned. Silver promotion credits availability was mentioned. In the near future, they said Doom Raids will be graduating from the current First Strike beta status, which we knew that was going to come at some point. To help players prepare for the challenge, we'll be increasing the amount of silver promotion credits available through regular gameplay by 50 per month, mostly through the Strike Pass and monthly login calendars, which that scares me. We're targeting these changes sometime in May, and we'll keep you informed as we get closer to going live. So my initial thoughts on this, man, were this seems not enough. And also silver promotion credits, we need gold promotion credits. But what were your thoughts, man, on this?
If this math lines up, we are going to be where we should have been when they added the daily silver promotion credit.
Yeah.
To the game, like when you can get one, that's where we will be. So we will be, what is that, 8-9 months behind, which does stand to reason. Like the company does seem to really enjoy like being a day late and $1 short. So yeah, like we do need more, but like more is such a weird question. Like they could increase the amount of gold and gold orbs by 1, and be like, we're giving you more.
Right.
It needs to be more, and it needs to make sense. And I think what they are doing is they're telling the players, that even with spending, this is the best you could possibly hope to get. And I have a problem with that. Getting 50 extra a month, people are going to say, well, that's 50 more. It's like, yeah, but the issue was never being held behind 50 or 30.
Yep.
It would, the 50 more a month could be 500 more a month, and that might be a little too much. Okay. But, Strike Pass and monthly log, whatever, I don't care. The truth of the matter is, like, they, once you get a character to 4-star, they're trying to make it a little bit less likely for you as a player to have access to it, which is fine if they weren't designing content for Red Stars. If Red Stars weren't a requirement. So you have to now treat Red Stars, you have to treat promotion credits the same way you treat Orange Gear materials. So whatever you expect to get regarding Orange Gear over the course of a month.
Yep.
So if you expect to get enough Orange Gear to bring up 2 or 3 characters over the course of a month, that should be the same thing for for silver promotion credits and gold promotion credits. You should be able to affect between 2 and 3 characters at that level, whatever that may be. And I just don't think that. But again, I think the biggest problem with this game always never comes down to how much of a thing we get. It's the cost. I think that 50 to go from 3 to 4 is ridiculous. I think that 150 to go from 4 to 5 is ridiculous. The numbers are where things go up. So they don't have to give more, which is why we have a huge problem with the Arena Store, which is why they had to ruin the Arena Store for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, because they gave too much, like just lower the prices of things so that it's easier to get the value out of what we get. But that's just my opinion. No,
and I tend to agree with that. I don't think so you're right? Like the the cost to upgrade is too high. If you were getting the extra 50 per month, and the cost was reduced by 15 credits, right, from 50 to then 35 to go from 3 to 4, then this would be more welcome. But the idea of only, for me, I look at the number, I just look at it what it is, right? You're saying 50 per month. In my opinion, okay, now I get 110, right, per month, which means that I can bring one character from, 5 to 6 or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't really, no, that's incorrect. That's gold promotion credits. But I still can't bring a character from 4 to 5 because I'm short 40, right? So that's for me where the issue is. It's this. You needed to, if you're going to do something like this, you needed to say you're going to increase it by 100 a month to be realistic, because early game players for sure, they need red stars, but they don't need red stars because they're not doing Doom Raids. They're not doing Dark Dimension 4. They're not, facing teams that are 700, 800K, in war. So it's, for me, I just don't understand why there's this like arbitrary number of 50 when the reality is that this doesn't really fully help. And then also there's no mention of gold promotion credits, because then now if you're going to require for content, if your recommendation, I'm going to say requirement because they said the recommendation is that you be at 6 red stars. You need to get this. The only way you can get to 6 is by using 100 gold promotion credits. So where are the gold promotion credits that you're giving us to be able to do that? Because right now there's really no other way other than Strike Pass at the very end of the Strike Pass, and you're getting 10 of them.
It was a different conversation when it was just War and Arena, right? Mm-hmm. Like when Red Stars really only mattered for War and Arena, the scarcity was relevant. It was like, okay, yeah, like be scarce because you want to feel like a 7 red star Ghost Rider matters. You want to feel like a 7 red star Zemo mattered. You want to feel like in the arena and in the war, the value of your 7 red star compared to other people either not having it or not being prepared for it was big. Yeah. But now that Dark Dimension exists, now that Doom Raid exists, now that, even to some extent, Alpha 3, or Greek 3s, Greek.3s exist. Like that content, I've done some math. We did calculations on stream all the time. Like 4.4 is with gear investment will get you where you need to be, right? So the question then becomes, if that's the case, I should have enough to bring a character to 4 red star a month, at least, right? Like that's so what is that? That's 50, 65. My math is that? Yeah, 65 credits.
Yeah, because you need to go to
3 to 4 is 50, and then 10, 4, and 1. Yep. So 65 credits. So that's the minimum amount that like you should see in order to start accomplishing meaningful tasks at a 4.4 level. But again, it doesn't really matter. If I can't farm stars in a character, it doesn't matter if I could buy red stars on them, right? Like, so new characters, you can remove that conversation completely from the pool, because anyone willing to buy the new character might be buying, or to the point where they're 6 or 7 star, might also be buying red stars. That doesn't matter. What matters is like, I want to be able to work on multiple characters, maybe a team. What's irrelevant is, I might want to take an entire team from 2 star to 3 star, because that is like a 15% increase or 10% increase. That's a huge jump for an entire team, especially as you're a lower player. We just don't have that option, because that 50 credits it's going to take to go from 2 to 3 on 5 characters, that also could bring one character that I desperately need to complete a raid node like Maw or something from 3 to 4. The efficiency is just not there. I think you were right, man. I think if you I think it should just go like 1, 4, 10, 1, 4, 10, and then you can go like 30 and then 70. 30 and then 70. Like just cut the total costs down. This way, as we progress and we are required to have higher red stars, it's easier for us to buy the lower and then the middle tiers, which then help us get more elite 5s and 6s in the future. It's still not a progression system, even though they're trying to sell it to the players as if it is. It's not yet, and it needs to be. Yeah, it definitely isn't. And ISOs have helped to bridge the gap a little bit, but even then, there's ions that's still a problem, right? So, because
ions weren't a problem when you were only bringing characters to 3 or in 2, right? But now that that blue ISOs are coming around the corner, you're going to want to get some characters to 5. And as you start to do higher content, you realize that there's a lot of I used to say controller's a big issue, but support and controller are now a major issue, because you have Sinister that you want to bring to 5, right? You have other characters like Anti-Venom, that maybe if you're using Minerva for Dark Dimension, you might want to bring her to a level 5 ISO. Like, there's a lot of support and controller characters that you need to, and it's 300,000 ions to go from 4 to 5. So the ions are becoming a problem. It's just, once again, that thing where you're creating too many bottlenecks, and I'm okay with there being exclusivity in certain characters, because certain characters are amazing, but you can't have everything else also be hard to get to. It's just my thoughts.
So when Ions came out, when ISO 8s came out, I was like, no, I really like this, because what it did was I'd said from the second they came out, like, no character should be brought to ISO 5. That's what I was telling everybody. Like, that shouldn't exist for a while, because you'll get more by spreading it out and using the same resources, getting multiple characters to 3, literally like 4 for every one you would bring to 5. Like, that's just how the math worked out. It was 81 versus, what was it, 27 or something? Yep. I don't even remember. It was nothing.
Significantly less.
No, 9. It was 9 to go. It's 1, 3, 7. Yeah. So
it's like 1, 3, 9, 27, and then it's just a massive jump of 81.
Yeah. So, like, that was the point. When it came out in like November, I was like, just bring everyone to 3. Don't worry about bringing anyone to 5. Trust me on it. You're paying that much for a quite literal 4% increase. And then March rolled around, and I started telling people, guys, ISO blues are coming. Now is the time for you to start shrinking into the like fixing the characters that you figure you're going to want to push even further. Yeah. Just remember, the absolute best case scenario for ISOs, right? If you get to take a character from 0 ISOs to max on ISO 8s, like, you're still getting around what 1 red star would be. It's still only ever a 10 to 12% increase in stats. Now, It's 10 to 12 because you're always getting an increase in health, but that's not, if you're not striker, you're not getting a damage increase. If you're not maxing skirmisher, you're not getting a focus increase. So it's about a 12% stat increase, right? Because that's just how it works. And all stats add together. If you have a 5 red star character, that's a 50% stat increase. It doesn't apply that and then apply other stat increases. It's all the percentages add up and then apply to your base stats. So 5 red star is 50%. Maxed ISOs is like 10 to 12%. It's a little bit more on health than it is on other things, but you know how it works. And then Stark Tech is 25%. So all that adds up together, and then they apply that total percentage to your number, more or less. And that's why, like, ISOs are bridging the gap a little bit between red stars, but it's also evaluating red stars at 5+ significantly higher, because those percentages at the top, 5, 6, and 7, 50, 60, and 75, those jumps are so much greater than the 20 extra percent we're going to get from ISO blue, or 10 extra total 20 from ISO blues. It's not going to make a difference, like, so yes, the ISOs are a great system, and they are built to kind of slow down. They are a good progression system. I give them credit, but they don't replace red stars. They replace Stark Tech. That's what they do.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I never thought about it that way. But it makes sense to when you think about it. I don't know. It's just red stars are definitely an issue. The RNG of it's the more that they add characters to. I mean, red star orbs also create another issue, right? Because that's super RNG. There's 166 or 160. There's some characters in there.
It's 65 right now. It's 165 right now. After this next patch, it'll be 168.
Yeah, right. So there's so many characters that are in there now, and the boosted 15% drop rate is not really a boosted 15% drop rate. It doesn't feel that way for sure. When you can open up 45 orbs and get 0 drops of a character, it doesn't feel good, right? So there's a lot of things that they need to do with red stars, especially if you're going to be scaling content around red stars. I think there's definitely some changes that they need to make moving forward to make this a a valuable progression system, for the entire player base.
Something that I was thinking that they could do that wouldn't take much is every weekend, right? That there's not a new character going out. You just have a Red Star boosted rate where you pick a couple of characters. Doesn't have to be one, could be like 3, and those characters are boosted. And instead of making it so it's like, do you have a 15% chance of pulling this character, which is stupid.
Yeah.
You could be like, you have a 50% chance of pulling from this pool, and then everybody else is in the rest of the pool. And this way the pool could be 3 to 5 characters, and it's like, okay, well now I'm going to open it because we're doing a X-Force run.
Right.
Like, hey, and yeah, I know people are going to say like 50% seems too high. It's like, it doesn't. You have to save your orbs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still a trade-off. Like, you have to decide that it's time to open your orbs for an event. And then you still need RNG for it to be of any relevance.
Right.
And then I'm okay with the RNG on the pool. Like, it's fine. But like, the numbers have to be more likely. And it's just the 15%, like, and generally I do fine on Red Stars, but there's one exception. I pulled 1 Red Star in like a total of 45 orbs of different types on Moon Knight. And I've never been more dejected in my life. I was like, and it was towards the end, obviously I didn't like rip it immediately.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, this is insane. Yeah. Like, I opened 4s and 5s. I didn't open a 6 at the time. I opened like a bunch of regulars, and I was like, I didn't get anything. Like, how did this happen? All during his boost, by the way. I'm like, so I know people during Surfer's boost that still have 0 and they open like 20 or 30. Like, you can't get 0. 0 can't be an option anymore.
Yeah,
like, we're past the days. Because you can't say RNG, LOL, it's just RNG, when you know for a fact that they're controlling the RNG numbers by making things up there. So I would say we've passed the point where 0 is an option.
Yeah, minimal got to be 3 now. You got to, come on now. I mean, you need 4 just to do some basic content at times, right? U7,
Or they can give us enough promotion credits that we could easily buy the character for 3 or 4. Just throwing it out there as a way to make the game better.
Right. Those two I definitely agree with for sure. And speaking of Red Stars, I know Ultron's Red Stars are mentioned too. I don't know if that is going to be, are we expecting that this patch as well to be able to get? I think right. So we're expecting Ultron's Red Stars. Now, I think the expectation of the player base probably needs to be changed a little bit. Obviously, I think that it's good that Ultron is getting Red Stars. I think that's gonna be great. But I feel people are expecting, hey, I'm gonna be able to get 4 Red Stars on Ultron right out the gate, and I'm like, I feel that maybe we'll get 1 or 2.
You'll see up to 3, and be like, yeah, Ultron Red Stars, and then you're gonna just never see anything after that. Like, you gotta think of it like this: like, Doom, the same currency is also going to be used for Doom and Ultimus, right? So like you're gonna, no one's buying Ultimus. Sure. That's not happening. They have to make it so it's obvious that, like, oh, it's important. But there's going to be people who right now want to max out Doom, and they're just not going to have that option.
Right.
So like Ultron Red Stars, I think we'll be able to probably, even if they keep the numbers the same, but the frequency is low, it's like 1 to get 1 and 2 to get 2. It's a new currency. It's black credits. Right. So like those credits are you're not going to get a lot. You might get like 1 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might give you like, here's 5, and then that's it.
Yeah, my expectation is
don't look good.
My expectation is not that we're going to be able to get 5 Red Stars on Ultron. And I played around with some stats in MSF.gg, because you can, by the way, MSF.gg. Shout out to Pimtoxy and Ty J for creating that. You can kind of simulate what Ultron stats would be with Red Stars, which base stats are cool, but remember, always multipliers and things like that and whatever. But we're not going to get into that. But the point about it is that, hey, it's going to be great with Red Stars, but I just don't think that everybody should expect that we're going to be able to get a 4-star Ultron right out the gate, unless maybe they present a way for you to pay for them, which they probably will. So not the regular players mostly will be able to get it. But either way, I feel they're going to roll that out slowly And we should have talked about this too. Blue ISOs are probably, I don't know if it's going to be this patch, but those are probably going to be coming sometime soon in Doom Raids. We don't have to go into it fully, but definitely blue ISOs I'm expecting, at least probably not, if it's not this patch, but probably the following patch too at some point.
Well, they mentioned they were going to have blue ISOs in Doom Raids and Ions, like tier 2 ISOs and Ions were going to be in those game modes. So like whenever they are doing the rework of the Doom Raid, you know, making it from strike from first pass to official raid, that's when you should expect to see those entered into the game, you know, like, so they mentioned it in this blog post. I don't think they mentioned it'll be the next patch. I think they just mentioned soon. You know, which is actually trademarked for Blizzard, because I'm still waiting on stuff that Blizzard promised me 4 years ago.
Sometime in May is what they said.
Yeah, sometimes between now and the end of time. Yeah. In May. Okay, so May's the next month. So it does stand to reason that if they are targeting these changes sometime in May, and we are almost in May, and the next patch comes in May, you know, it stands to reason that we will be getting blue ISOs soon. I just don't know if we're going to get them before the changes, or if they're going to be loaded into the game, and then we'll like, oh, here they are.
Right, for sure. And then
look how much fun they are.
Well,
can't apply them until you have maxed green. It's like a gear tier.
Yeah, for some of the players who are doing Doom, right? So they're not everybody, but the last thing
I'm doing Doom. You leave me alone.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are, I am, but not everybody. Listen, I'm looking out for those who are not doing Doom raids. I love y'all too. Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. The last
I'm not even doing well. I don't want anyone to get the impression that I'm like, yeah, we're crushing Doom raids. Like, no, it struggles and we suck.
Oh no, it's not going well. No, it's not.
No, it sucks. I don't have Doom yet.
We're surviving, but it's not going.
You know what? No one's here like Doom raids are great. We're like,
yeah, I mean, pretty much. Basically, that's pretty much where we are. The last thing on my list to talk about we're also expecting probably this patch too, that there's going to be, and they mentioned in May in one of the recent blog posts that we are going to be getting a skill military rework, and that's going to be for pretty much primarily because a lot of players purchase skill military and they were supposed to be doing a rework for them, but I think more so actually they mentioned the rework probably should have been done already. I think what we were kind of looking forward to more was this new training mat event, like the Flash event, that's supposed to be rolling around sometime, you know, I think they said next patch, so that's supposed to be this patch coming up. So I guess we should be preparing for that. And once again, remember, it's new, so you're only going to be able to do the first 3. So don't go. I'm going to go bring everybody up to level 65, gear tier 11 to do the event. You can only do the first 3.
Well, that said, they're also, to my knowledge, they're also bringing Black Widow into the skill military fold.
Yep.
Like she's getting the military tag, to my knowledge. As we can tell, you know, Red Guardian is now farmable at a stupid amount of currency that doesn't need to exist because they hate us.
They hate us because they ain't us. No, it does not apply.
Correct. Well, they do. I mean, you do know we make more money than the people who work there, right? As content creators, and that's not saying much. We're not rich.
We're not.
They just sucked. They just pay developers very poorly.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like, yeah, we're waiting for this event, this training material event. But everything has to line up. Like they have to do the reworks. They have to make Yelena farmable. They have to do this thing. They have to do that thing. And they have to do all of that while also drip releasing Silver Surfer and promoting a war team in X Factor. You know, like this. And then again, if they release 3 characters in a patch, half the community complains that, you know, there's not enough characters. But if they were to release 5 characters in a patch, we'd be like, the characters are coming too fast.
Right.
So there's no happy middle ground. I've always said, like, they could release 30 characters. I barely buy them as they are. I don't care.
Right.
Like, I didn't buy Multiple Man, and I have a 5-star Multiple Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I don't care from that perspective. Like, it doesn't matter how many characters they release. What matters is how well I can get them or get the characters I want in general. So, you know, when it comes to, like, this event, first of all, it's going to be broken. How do I know that? Come on. Because the day ends in Y and it's a scope re-release. So like I know it's going to be broken. I know there's going to be some issues with it, but ultimately, like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do more than the first 3. So I'm right now, and we don't know if it's going to be a monthly event. We just know it's going to be a flash event. So they could alternate between it and Block Party. They might be a it might be a monthly event. I don't know, but it could be 3 months from the day they release it before we get to the 7-star event. It could be 6 months before. We'll know immediately. But the truth of the matter is, most of the characters in that pool of skill military a good portion of the players have at a decent star rank just through gameplay,
regular gameplay.
Black Widow, a Punisher, Killmonger, because he's used for everything. But again, it's another thing Killmonger is useful for. So thumbs up to Killmonger, best character in the game, kind of.
Yeah, I mean his value has gone up, right? I mean he's in Payday. He's as a merc. You can use him in Chaos Theory. Now you can use him in this new event. Yeah, Killmonger.
And you can use him in global nodes. You can use it like every raid has a place for Killmonger. It's amazing. We love Killmonger. Killmonger needs a cape.
He does.
Get that man a cape.
This man is really good. This man is really good. But that concludes our topics, I think, for this week. There's a lot to go through. We could have talked about some other things, the support event. We could have talked about all that, the arena store stuff. But man, we've already exhausted that already last week. Other content creators have already exhausted the topic last week. Why do it? Is basically my question. But Tony, thank you so much for being on the channel here for the first time. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Any final words, for the viewers?
The final words are the ASMR stream between Goofy and Tony, where we read to you terrible, terrible poetry, is coming soon.
Absolutely. There's a possible chance that I may do an ASMR stream reading Bible scriptures. All right, let's conclude. Let's conclude this video. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Leave in the comments, guys. What are the questions you guys have about anything, or comments that you guys have about anything whatsoever? Check out Tony's channel. I'm going to leave the links down below. He's saying no, but check out Tony's channel. Appreciate you again for watching the video. Y'all be blessed and y'all be safe.